Let's look at some gear and see how it's used. I've been out and about in Oxfordshire looking at a beautifully designed 35mm SLR, the Pentax Program A, which was introduced in 1984. The Pentax Program A is one of the best looking cameras that Pentax have ever produced. On the top plate is the film wind-on that's got a fairly short throw and a decisive shutter release. When it's set to lock, it means you can't release the shutter, so you won't waste any film. When you set it to auto, you set the aperture and the camera will show you which shutter speed has been set in the readout in the viewfinder. When you set it to manual, you set both the aperture and the shutter speed. You set the shutter speed with these buttons here, that increases the shutter speed and that decreases it. And in the viewfinder you're shown an indication of whether the exposure is correct or not. If you then set that to auto and the lens to A, then that's program mode and the camera will set both the aperture and the shutter speed. On the left hand side of the top plate you press this button down and that allows you to change the ISO to the correct speed. You've also got the exposure compensation when you're using automatic, which can go from +2 stops to -2 stops. On the front of the camera is the self timer there. You've also got the depth of field preview, which allows you to see the depth of field at the taking aperture of the lens. Press this button and you release the lens. And you can see the Pentax K mount, which was quite universally used amongst a lot of 35mm SLRs. You can use one of the original K mount lenses that came out with the K1000 and the MX, and that will allow you to have aperture priority in manual. When you mount a KAF lens, you'll be able to use aperture priority, program and manual. The KA mount lens that this comes with will give you aperture priority, program and manual. On the bottom of the camera you can see the battery cover, the tripod socket and the connection for the motor drive just there. There are a couple more contacts for the motor drive here and here. To put the film in, you just lift this rewind crank up and that opens the camera back. Pop the film in there, push that down and pull it across to the take-up spool. Push the film into the take-up spool like this. Once that's in, wind on a frame, close the back, then wind on 2 more frames and you're ready to shoot. So what do I really like about the Pentax Program A? It's a great looking camera, beautifully designed. It's got all the modes that I want, program, manual and aperture priority. And because it uses the Pentax K mount, it's got a large range of lenses from not only Pentax but also other manufacturers. I'd very much recommend this if you want a 35mm SLR that allows program as well as manual exposure. It's probably better value than similar cameras such as the Minolta X700 and Canon AE1 program, which are starting to go up in price quite a lot. Thanks for watching. I've put info and links in the description and I'll answer any questions that you post. Also feel free to hit the subscribe button.